Hey everybody, welcome back to another pet battle video. Vok here, and now with the next expansion already announced in just a few months away from actually launching, that being the War Within, I figured I'd take the time to go over 10 pets that I would highly recommend having ready at your disposal right now before the expansion launches, as I feel like they will do very well within the next PvP pet battle meta. Now they're doing very well currently, and there's obviously a whole bunch more pets that will do very well in the next expansion. This is just going to be my top 10 pets to have ready for you for when the next expansion launches. So yeah, keep in mind that this is opinionated, so if there's any sort of pets that you feel like will do very well within the next PvP pet battle meta, feel free to let me know down below. Always like hearing everybody's comments, questions, concerns with it when it resorts to that sort of thing. Now, when I think of the War Within, kind of like how I did the video back in Shadowlands of 10 pets that I highly recommend having for Dragonflight. That video did very well, so I figured I'd do that for this one. Now, when I thought of Dragonflight, obviously everybody can imagine that there was going to be a lot of Dragonkin pets added to the game, and of course there was a whole bunch of fantastic ones. So when I think of the title The War Within, I think of potentially maybe a bunch of humanoids, maybe mechanicals, because I think of war, the War Within. You think of, humanoids fighting, possibly mechanicals such as, tanks and stuff of that nature. So that's just my speculation. Of course, there's not 100% guarantee that there will be a crap ton of, humanoids and mechanicals, but it's just my speculation. Regardless of whether or not that comes true or not, I still feel like these pets will do very well. So I will be going over each and every one of these 10 pets here, what moves I highly recommend taking on them for PvP, a best breed for them if there are multiple breeds, where to get them, all that good stuff there, so you need not worry. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into it. First up, we have a Rattlejaw. Now, Rattlejaw's been around ever since Legion. Nice little butt scratch right there too, by the way. I love that animation. He's actually very easy to get. You can get him as a drop from the variant in the Blackwing Descent raid, so not too low of a drop chance there if you'd like to just go for that. However, you can buy him off the auction house. He is, not expensive at all. He's pretty cheap, I would say. Moveset I definitely highly recommend running on him is going to be Skull Toss, Bone Barrage, and Consume Corpse. However, he can do very well Empowering Strikes, Great Cleave, and Reanimate as well. You can really mix and match with him if you'd really like to. This is just a build that I prefer on him, so very good stuff there. And also, by the way, only one breed available to him, so you don't have to worry there. He is obviously very good against, obviously, humanoids. He's going to be very good against mechanicals, especially the mechanical Pandaren Dragonling, as he takes weak damage from it with the breath, and has Bone Barrage to immediately take down that decoy. So really good stuff there. A really solid pet that does very well. Don't see a whole lot of it nowadays, but who knows, maybe we'll see an uprising of it in the next expansion. Now, next up we have Muad'Dib here. Now, this is a pet I really like using, especially pairing it up with Anomalous and having it on teams with, poison AoE attacks, such as Great Sting, stuff like that. Don't really see a whole lot of Muad'Dib, unfortunately. I'd say it's pretty underrated. I think it's fantastic. I mean, it's saved my butt in many occasions. A really great pet. Once again, only one breed available to it. It is a Covenant feature. However, you can just get it off the auction house if you would like. Once again, doesn't really cost a whole lot as far as I remember, so pretty easy to get there. Now, the build I recommend going with is Creepy Chomp. Digest Brains is pretty good because he has pretty good attack power, and if you didn't know, healing effects are based off how much attack power you have, so he actually heals for quite a bit on a short 3-round cooldown. Meat Hook's pretty good too. 2-round cooldown, and on a swap out, not bad. He's just not very fast, so maybe if you're gonna take that, maybe pairing him up with a pet like with Dazzling Dance or Moon Dance, something like that. And then of course Toxic Fumes is way better than Rot. I guess a case can be made for Rot if you have like a pet on your team with critter damage, like for example a rabbit or something. But Toxic Fumes is just always going to be 1000% better than that. Obviously, he's going to do very well paired with Anomalous and a bunch of other AoE dot damage teams. So very good stuff there. Once again, he's very good versus the Mechanical Pendarn Dragonling. Very good versus very pesky humanoids such as the Anubis Idol. He can really go toe-to-toe with him. And yeah, just a really easy pet to get and really damn good. I'd say it's pretty underrated, unfortunately. Now, next up we have Hopl. Now, Hopl is one of the newest pets added in the game. As far as, you know, dealing damage goes, it's not the strongest thing in the world, obviously. Hopl is mostly on the list for how well it's able to support the team. It is a very, very good support pet in the form of Moon Tears and Moon Dance, especially Moon Dance. Now, this is the fastest non-flying type speed increasing pet that's in the game currently. There's no other pet that I can think of that would be faster than it baseline at a 357, as you can see there. And then when you add Moon Dance onto it, it will actually be faster than a lot of flying types with their racial, so really, really damn good in that regard. And this thing is especially good versus Fiendish Imps. I've been going against quite a bit of Fiendish Imps lately, and Hopl just pulls through every time. Because you're obviously way faster than Fiendish Imp. You can get that Moon Dance up, and even if it swaps you out, you know, I've got other pets in the backline that I have to deal with the Fiendish Imp more effectively. And then they're just going to be faster, and they just tear the Fiendish Imp apart. It's not just the Fiendish Imp. You got other fast humanoids such as the Ore Eater, first Dune Watcher, the Kargarling, you know, just to name a few. So really, really good in that regard. Now again, like I said, as far as dealing damage goes, it's not the greatest in the world because of that really low attack power there. So I recommend just going with Flurry because I feel like you're going to swap out a lot with Transchant Claws here. You know, it's a ramp up ability, but like I said, I feel like you're just going to be swapping out a whole bunch. It's too bad that they changed the way Flurry worked. Otherwise, this thing would just be, you know, godlike pet. Because of the way Flurry worked back then. It used to be able to take down Decoy in a single attack, so that was really damn good. Now, Arcane Riposte here is a unique ability only to Hopl. It deals additional damage if the target has, well, if the user has lower health than the enemy. Now, this is very good against high health pets such as the Anubis Idol. However, you know, I don't recommend having Hopl go toe-to-toe with something like an Anubis Idol because the idol should win 9 times out of 10 because of the high health and higher damage output. But, you know, it's there. If, you know, maybe a high health flying type or something like that, you could just burst it down there. And then if you want to pair that up with Moon Tears here, you know, it's unfortunate it's a 4-round cooldown. Not the greatest ability in the world. Does a little bit of AoE damage and does a little bit of AoE healing as well. And then throws up Moonlight, which is pretty good. Wish it had like a 3-round cooldown if it's, you know, that pitiful damage and no AoE healing. But hey, it's whatever. Nibble, I don't really recommend taking Nibble on Hopl here. It's not bad, but Moon Tears is just going to be way better for that Moonlight. So really good stuff. And then by far the best ability that Hopl has is Moon Dance. It's just so damn good. So good. And like I said, you're going to be outspeeding quite a bit of flyers, unless if they're just like a super fast flying type with like 325 baseline speed or higher, because it's so good. I don't remember the exact number off the top of my head, but I know it's well over 400 speed increase here, so really damn good stuff. Now, as far as getting Hopl, it is an in-game shop pet. I know some people don't like that, but hey, I promise you, it is definitely worth it. You know, there's times where Blizzard will release pretty mediocre pets on the shop, and people are, you know, pretty disappointed. But this pet is not mediocre whatsoever. It's actually really, really damn good, and it would be even better if Flurry worked like it used to. Now, it is only $7 currently, and unfortunately, it will be going indefinitely at the end of February, which is the current month. So I would highly, highly recommend saving up $7 and going ahead and getting you a Hoplet, because this thing is really, really damn good. Really fantastic support pet. So yeah, go ahead and pick up Hoplet if you are interested. And then obviously one breed available and magic type here. You know, I thought it was going to be a critter, but no, Hoplet's a magic type, so it's able to really effectively take advantage of that magic, Rachel. And you just can't one-shot this thing, which is another really damn good thing about it. All right, moving on down along with some pesky humanoids, as I was talking about a little bit ago. Now, first up, we have the Kargarling, which is debatably, in my opinion, probably the best humanoid pet in the game currently. I mean, some people might say the idol here, but I would say the Kargarling. Now, this pet can only be acquired in Silphus during summertime, which is a few months away, in case if you haven't got it yet. I will be uploading a video how to get it whenever that time comes around, like I did with the Snowy Owl. But pretty easy to get it. There's so many of them out there, so you're not going to have to really worry about competition. The main thing that may take some time for you to, you know, actually do is finding the correct breed, as it has all breeds available to it, as you can see here. Breed you want is going to be the SS breed there, with the 1400 health, 260 attack power, and 325 speed. I say it all the time, speed is probably the most important stat in PvP pet battles, because going first a lot of times can determine whether you win or lose. So really, really damn good stuff there. I highly recommend camping out until you get an SS breed there. And in case if you're not aware, you are able to look at the different breeds of the pet with a add-on called Pet Battle Breed ID. So a little bit of tip there in case if you're wondering. So yeah, now not saying that the other breeds of the Kargarling will not perform very well. Any breed of the Kargarling is going to do pretty well in some regard. The SS breed is just by far the best because of that fantastic speed. So yeah, there's that right there. Now you're definitely going to want to go with the build of Crush, Sandstorm, and Blackout Kick. Stay far, far away from these other three abilities, unless if you're doing some sort of goofy gimmick team type thing. But yeah, you're obviously going to want to go with this build right here. It's just fantastic. You're going to be destroying Dragonkins with your Crush here. Sandstorm is just an OP ability on its own. And then Blackout Kick is really fantastic, especially on a fast pet such as this. It's faster than Anomalous. Let's see, it's faster than, you know, what other pets is it faster than? I can't think of... Oh, it's just faster than Rattlejaw there, Moodod, stuff like that. I was trying to think of at least over 300. Oh, Mechanical Pandaren Dragonling. It's faster than that, too. Damn good pet right there. So, really good stuff there. Not the fastest in the world, obviously. Not as fast as Hoplet, at least, but still really damn fast. Especially if maybe you use Hoplet with it and throw a little moon dance on it. It's just going to be an absolute fast monster. So, highly, highly recommend picking this pet up if you haven't already once summertime rolls back around. Now, next up we have the Anubis Idol. Now, really, really damn good pet. Some people might say that it's the best humanoid. Again, I wholeheartedly believe it's the Kargarling, but it's still really damn good, especially with that fantastic HH breed right there. So yeah, only one breed available to it. It is a drop from Emperor Valklor and on Courage there, if you'd like to chance it there. I believe the drop chance is like 4%, something like that. Not the highest in the world, but not the lowest either. However, you can purchase it off the auction house if you'd like. It's definitely not the most expensive thing in the world. Now the build you're definitely going to want to go with is actually this one right here. I do see some people running Rupture, and that's okay, but Deflection is generally way better. But if the War Within possibly has a bunch of mechanicals, then Rupture might be a really good option there, but Deflection usually 9 times out of 10 is going to be way better. So yeah, you got your Crush here, deal with the Dragonkins. Once again, Sandstorm is just damn OP. Really, really great ability there. And then, yeah, deflection is just really fantastic. I have seen some people run Stone Skin and Demolish, and I just facepalm myself every time because it just makes my life easier when I go against them. So yeah, I'd highly recommend staying far away from those, again, unless if you're doing some sort of goofy gimmick team. But yeah, not a whole lot to say about Anubis F Idol. It's really damn good now. It's always been really good, and I expect it to be even better in the next expansion. Alright, next up we have the Cursed Dune Watcher. Now, it does have very low health, one breed available to it once again. It is from the Oldham Accord supply caches. Back in, you know, BFA with the whole Oldham assaults. There's one in particular that if you do, you know, you'll get the little cache and then it has a chance to drop. Not too sure what the drop chance is. I'm assuming it's very, very low. And it actually can be quite an expensive pet on the auction house too, I've seen. So you might be spending a pretty penny on the auction house if you decide to go down that route. But if you'd like to chance of luck, you can go ahead and do that Oldham assault. But yeah, only one breed available to it. Once again, it's got a pretty interesting breed. So obviously very low health, but really high attack power and speed. So it's a glass cannon. What's really funny about it is that its speed is literally 1 point higher than a baseline 325 pets, which is hilarious. It's like the biggest, you know, tease in the world. So if you have like the Kargarling here out against it, you're literally slower by 1 point, and it's just the funniest thing ever. You know, it's really damn good. Despite the low health, it can really pump out a whole lot of damage. Now, it's really all about if you rather run Stone Shot or Punch, you could really go either or. It's going to do very well versus MPD with Stone Shot, so maybe you'd like to go with that. Or if you got some pesky Moontouch Netherwhelps or other Dragonkin such as Twilight Whelpling, stuff like that, Punch would be a good option as well. Stone Skin or Body Slam. I highly recommend Body Slam, especially if you're pairing it up with Sandstorm. That way it'll reduce some of the recoil damage you'll take. However, Stone Skin isn't half bad either. I highly recommend just Body Slam for damage diversity, especially if you're going to go with Stone Shot. And then, of course, Sandstorm is just so good. Such a damn good ability. I mean, just 3 Sandstorm pets here right in a row. And he has really high attack power, so that Sandstorm's hitting for almost 800 damage. Headbutt is okay too, but, I mean, it's nowhere near as good as Sandstorm, so I highly recommend just sticking with Sandstorm there. So yeah, once again, just like Anubis F Idol, not a whole lot to say, just really fantastic pet. Alright, next up we have Aquo. Now, once again, I feel like this pet is pretty underrated. I love this thing to death. I use it quite a bit. And I feel like there could be a debate made for which is better, Aquo or Jade Mist Dancer. I honestly am leaning more towards Aquo, to be honest with you. Just has a really fantastic breed and really fantastic moveset as well. Obviously, the best teams it's going to be paired up with are going to be mostly Cyclone teams. You probably could pair it up on a Blizzard team as well. Then they're called Blizzard. That Thunderbolt's going to be dealing even more damage. And then the chance of critting with the Rain Dance is just fantastic damage. It's just so good. Very surprised I don't see a whole bunch of this pet, to be honest with you, because it is just so good. Now, very low speed, but that really doesn't matter. That attack power and health is where it's at. It's an elemental type, so it doesn't have to worry about stupid Sandstorm or Darkness, all that jazz. So this is the build right here to definitely go with. I'd stay far away from these. Punch is okay, however, I feel like Water Jet's going to be way better. Rain Dance, once again, huge heal right there, and then that increased chance to crit. And then that Thunderbolt damage is just going to be absolute face roll, especially if there's like a bunch of mechanicals on the back row, which I have had happen quite a bit, and they're taking like 400, you know, close to 500 damage from a crit. It's absolutely hilarious. Aquo, yeah, really great pet. Once again, one breed. It is a drop from Zerlek Cavern there, from Aquafawn. However, you can once again get it off the auction house, so I don't think it costs that much, but yeah, just fantastic pet. Highly recommend getting it. It's been doing very well in Dragonflight. I anticipate it's just going to continue to do very well in the War Within. Now, next up, we have the Magma Rageling here. Now, this pet hasn't seen really a whole lot of action lately. I'm not too sure why, because every time I go against it, I'm kind of sweating bullets, because you can never anticipate when that damn magma trap's gonna go off. It is just really, really good. Now, just like the Cursed Dune Watcher, it does have pretty low health, but that attack power is just so fantastic. Baseline speed, I kind of wish that it had either more attack power or more health and less speed, but hey, what can you do? So yeah, but that magma trap is definitely going to be where it's at right there. It's definitely the best thing it has going for it. And you can actually set it off right away if you want to with Magma Wave. A lot of people like to sleep on Magma Wave because it doesn't do that much damage, but it is an AoE attack. And not half bad damage, honestly, almost 150. So you could just, you know, spam that if you want to. You can set off that trap right away, dealing quite a bit of damage and stunning the pet. And if they're running like a Cyclone team or, you know, decoy, anything like that, that's just going to get taken down right away because it's considered an object, and that's one of the effects of Magma Wave. So really great stuff in that regard. Now, Volcano is pretty damn good on it, does a lot of damage, and once again, just like Magma Trap will stun the pet. It does have a 25% chance to stun, however, but it does hit twice, so it technically does do more damage than Magma Trap. But if you're going to run Volcano, you're going to have to get rid of Magma Wave, otherwise it's just going to destroy your Volcano. And then in the middle tier here, I highly recommend Flame Jet. Just does a crap ton of damage, and then has a 50% chance to throw up a pretty high damaging dot for a few turns. So really good stuff there. It was a pet way back in Legion. It is a drop in Ulduar, but once again, you can get it off the auction house. Hey, surprise. So not very expensive either, so really good stuff. It's still a really, really great pet, but I feel like it might potentially get even more action in the next expansion, assuming that, you know, we see a whole bunch of mechanicals. Now, next up we have the Nightshade Sproutling. One of my favorite pets for sure, one of my more used pets as well, as you can see there. This thing is just getting better and better. It's just not getting worse at all. It's just a really, really solid, fantastic pet that's been doing so well over the years, especially with the whole damage increase to weather abilities. It just made it even better. So I anticipate it's just going to be doing even better in the next expansion. Now, this could possibly be the hardest pet to get on the list here. As far as getting Nightshade Sproutling back in Warlords, if you go to pick an herb, you have a small chance for a mob to spawn. The mob will, you know, look like the little flower creature here, like the Nightshade Sproutling. Upon killing it and looting it, you have yet another small chance of the Nightshade Sproutling dropping. Oh, Dropling. And then once you learn the Nightshade Sproutling, you have yet again a very, very small chance of getting the correct breed that you want. Once again, being the SS breed. Just like the Kargarling, it has all breeds available to it, so that's the most pain in the rear thing about it. Once again, you can get it off the good old auction house. However, it might take you some time of just scouring the auction house, you know, every other day, something like that. People post them all the time, so it hopefully won't take you too long to find the correct breed. That being the SS. Now, just like the Kargarling, just because you don't have the SS breed doesn't mean that it won't perform very well in the PvP pet battle scenario. But, you know, like I always say, that speed, you know, can really determine whether you win or lose. Especially with its little toolkit that you got here. So that faster speed, you're going to be able to take more advantage of Lash 9 times out of 10. Poison Lash is actually pretty good too. No, not too bad, but I feel like Lash is going to be way better. Call Darkness, obviously one of the best ability it has for sure. Just fantastic, a heavy hitting ability, and you don't have to worry about missing because you are an elemental type, so that's really great there. Nature's War is actually surprisingly really good on the Nightshade Sproutling. You could totally run that and perform very well. Still have it on a darkness team and not worry about your healing getting cut in half, because once again, thanks to that beautiful elemental racial, so really great in that regard. Blinding poison is probably the best ability it has, either that or Call Darkness. And then once again, on the faster pet, you're really going to be able to take advantage of it. And blinds do work on critters, keep that in mind. And they also work on pets that have the resilience debuff. So say that you bash your enemy with, you know, stunted Yeti or something like that, swap into the Nightshade Sproutling, you know, the enemy has resilience debuff, you could still go for your blinding poison and it will not get negated. So really damn good stuff there. Fist of the Forest is actually still pretty good on Nightshade. Now, a couple years back, I did do a gimmick team video where I was running quote unquote the wrong moves for a pet. Still running the non-optimal moves, and I was running Poison Lash, Nature's Ward, and Fist of the Forest, and the Nightshade was still by far the carry of the team for sure. It actually won me the game. It was pretty amazing. So it's still really good even if you run this build here, but this right here is going to be the best build by far. Now, like I said, this pet has been doing very well over the years. I just foresee it doing very well in the next expansion as well. So highly recommend getting your hands on this thing as soon as possible. As soon as you find that SS breed on the auction house, boom, buy it, it's yours. Really great stuff. Now, last but not least, who would have thunk? We got old Anomalous here. Now, I don't see Blizzard really doing anything as far as balance changes go towards Anomalous, because I feel like a lot of people might think that it might need a bit of a nerf here. I guess the worst thing they could do is maybe put Toxic Fumes and Poison Protocol in the same tier here. But until then, this thing is just still ripping face off and taking names. It's just really, really damn good pet. No surprise at all. One breed available to it. It is from Visions, so not very hard to get. I don't recall what the drop chance is, but I have a couple, so it shouldn't be that low. However, you can get it off the auction house, but it is dirt cheap on the auction house. I'm talking like maybe 50 gold, something like that. It's just so dirt cheap. So if you, for whatever reason, don't have it, you can very easily acquire it. So good old auction house. But yeah, once again, one breed available to it. Has really low health, as you can see, but it is able to really effectively take advantage of that magic racial there. With that, it can only take like a little over 300 damage per attack, so really great stuff there. Just like Hopl there, it's something that you just cannot want a straight up one shot. So you know, you're gonna get off some abilities, unless if, you know, your opponent gets like the most incredible luck in the world, has like a stun on you or something like that, and you just get crit every attack and go down. But other than that, you should be able to get off your bread and butter here, being Toxic Fumes and Poison Protocol. Now, I usually run Corrosion on it, but I have seen people run Ooze Touch too. Not bad at all. Almost 400 damage, so you totally could run that if you want. Corrosion just pairs better under Toxic Fumes, obviously, and it's going to up the damage of all of your attacks, especially Poison Protocol once you go to throw that up. So even if they swap out, they got all that dot damage on them, and they're just melting away on the back line. And then you could spread more corrosions if you want. I have seen some people run the double AoE here with Void Nova and Poison Protocol, and it's done pretty good. It's pretty good. You know, it's a lot of damage, but once again, I'm going to say that Toxic Fumes is going to be way better than Void Nova by a long shot. And then Contagion Strike, as long as you have Toxic Fumes and they're not an elemental type, you will get the additional damage there. But once again, Poison Protocol is going to be way better than Contagion Strike there. So I highly recommend that. Bread and butter right here, as I said. So just highly recommend it. This pet has been damn good ever since its introduction to BFA. It's just going to keep performing very well, unless if, you know, Blizzard comes out of left field and just nerfs the hell out of it, which I highly doubt they will do, but you know, there's always a possibility. So yeah, that right there will be the top 10 pets that I highly recommend having at your disposal as soon as possible before the next expansion, The War Within, arrives. Now, once again, it's just a speculation as to whether or not, potentially we'll see a lot of humanoids or a lot of mechanicals. Everybody and their grandma could have guessed that there was going to be a bunch of dragonkin pets added in Dragonflight, in which they did. They had added a whole bunch of fantastic ones, and I loved playing with each and every one of them. It was a lot of fun. Dragonflight Pet Battle PvP has been pretty fun. I'd say it was way better than Shadowlands, in my opinion. So we'll see how the War Within goes. Definitely interested to see how that goes. So, yeah, thank you all so much for watching. And once again, if there's some pets that you feel like are going to do, very well in the next expansion, PvP Pet Battle Meta, please feel free to let me know down below, as I always love to hear all that good stuff. This is just my personal top 10 that I feel like are going to do very, very well. Yeah, once again, thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, have a nice day.